As younger generations come to Elon, 9/11 is now a day that no one but faculty remember, and the memories have yet to fade for those teaching on campus that day. It is where I stand right now in Mosley Center that students gathered to call their families in New York City and D.C. following the September 11th attacks that happened 20 years ago. Dean of Students Janelyn Patterson says Elon formed a phone bank for students who did not have cell phones of their own and gathered in what is now a Razoo coffee shop to watch live news coverage.
I remember that from the corner of my eye, something caught the corner of my eye, and I turned around and looked, and those buildings had collapsed. And I said, "Are you all set?" Before that, we were in response mode, but with that, it was just this incredulous feeling about this is huge forever.
Following the attacks, students and faculty gathered for a candlelight vigil and a national day of prayer to remember those who died. Professor of Religious Studies Toddy Peters, who was at Elon for just 2 weeks on September 11th, says teaching in a new place under the circumstances felt surreal.
Even the next day, I remember I went into class and I had my whole lesson plan that, we were supposed to do that day, but I said to my class, do you want to do class? Or do you want to talk about what's happened? And of course, they wanted to talk about what had happened because it was just so overwhelming.
Patterson says after a long day of talking to students about the attacks, the reality set in when she went home to her husband and young son.
I can remember sitting on my couch and just crying. We put him to bed because I wanted to protect him from that. And it's just crying. My husband and I both just sitting there thinking, what does this mean for us and for our world? And are we going to have to be on edge every day?
Patterson says the attacks changed our campus and the world, and she mourns that current students will never know a pre-9/11 society. For Patterson and other Elon faculty members, Mosley Center is always a reminder of that day's events.